Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in a weapon light to take a look at. This is coming from ZBULAR, and it's actually a flashlight and a laser combo. This is supposed to be a direct mount to an M-LOK rail, supposed to be decently bright, and it'll work kind of as like a hand stop or an angled foregrip type deal. So I'm interested to check it out. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a quick unboxing, go over all the features and specifications, see how the light and laser work. We'll get it mounted to something, get some beam shots, and then give some thoughts on it. So other than this ZBULAR, there's really no other information on the box here, but let's see how it's packaged and what all comes with it. So it looks like we do have a manual maybe. Show you guys that. And then we're going to have a charging cable, type A to C. Looks like some hardware. So stuff for our M-LOK, and then a couple different wrenches. One of these is probably going to be to tighten these nuts. This other one's probably going to be for the laser to adjust it. And then we have the light laser combo right here. Just kind of looking everything over. So pretty much this entire thing is made out of a polymer, but it doesn't feel cheap. Like there's some heft to it. I'll grab a weight in a bit. It does have their name on it here. Got our LED up there, the laser up there. Got a button here for the laser and then a separate button for the light. Gonna have our windage elevation there, elevation adjustment there, and then you can see there's kind of like a shape to it because your hand is kind of designed to slide right up in there, and again kind of use that almost as a hand stop. Got the USB-C charging port right there. That cover is very flimsy. I know it says that it has an IPX4 waterproof rating, and it also has a 1 meter drop rating on it. We are looking at an overall length of 5.3 inches, kind of like a height of 1.7 inches. And then an overall thickness of 1.28 inches. And it has a weight of 4.2 ounces. So this is going to have a built-in lithium-ion battery. It's 1200 milliamp hours. And according to their numbers, if you are using just laser only, this will operate for about 25 hours. If you're doing flashlight only, it'll go for over 2 hours, which is actually pretty impressive for a weapon light. And if you're doing the flashlight and laser together, you can get about an hour and a half. And if this were like completely dead, it'll take about 2 hours to fully charge it back up. So let's get into the operation of the light, which is very, very simple. It's exactly what you want with the weapon light. If you want to use the flashlight, you just press it to turn it on. You can see we have a really nice defined hot spot, a little bit of extra there, and then quite a bit of flood with it too. We'll see what this looks like obviously at night. This does have a strobe feature, so if you're sensitive to flashing lights, you can look away for a minute, but you get to the strobe by double tapping this. And you're still going to have that same hot spot, the same flood, and it looks like it's a consistent pattern with that strobe. My particular version has the green laser. They do have it available, I think, in red and blue as well. I always prefer green if it's an option. It's just easier for my eyes to pick up. And again, to turn that on and off, it's just a simple tap of the button there. I don't know why you'd really ever want to do it, but it does actually have like a flashing laser, kind of like the strobe, and it is a double tap, just like what it was for the light. So yeah, hopefully you can see it. That's kind of flashing now. And there it's steady. You can also have the laser on and a flashlight on at the same time. Camera's probably having a really hard time picking that up, but the laser is right there. Hopefully you can see that. You can also have the laser on with strobe. So again, if you're sensitive, look away for the next minute. Now you can pick up the laser a little bit better. And just so you guys know, these buttons are kind of like rubberized. It's almost like a textured feeling to it, and it's the only thing that's on the side, so there's no way to like not hit it or find it. Very easy to acquire. And another thing to let you know about, it does not show it anywhere in the manual, but these do have like a momentary feature as well. So you can press this, hold, and when you want the light to go off, you just release and it shuts off. So you can have constant on or a silent momentary. And it actually looks like the laser can be the same way as well. Going to be mounting that light laser combo in a minute, but just so YouTube knows, I am working with a completely safe firearm here. There's no ammo anywhere around, and also adding this flashlight to this rifle does not modify this rifle in any way. It doesn't make it do anything other than what it was originally manufactured to do. So for those of you that aren't familiar, we're going to have to loosen this up to give some space, and then you can honestly mount this wherever you want. I'm going to go directly on the bottom here, but once there's some space, we'll slide this up through these little slots, and then as we tighten, these will turn so that they go the opposite way, and then we'll be able to tighten it down. So the easiest way to do this is to have the rifle upside down. And again, make sure that these are pointed so that they go along the slots. You don't want to try to install, it will not install if you try to go like this. It has to be like this. And then we're just going to place this on here and then start tightening things up. All right, that only took a couple seconds to get installed. Hopefully you can see the nut in there's kind of turned like perpendicular to the slots now. Nice thing about this is that you can charge this while it's mounted, so once we zero in the laser and stuff like that, you never have to take this thing back off to charge. And when you are charging it, probably going to be hard for the camera to see, but there's a little red light right there, and that light will turn green once it's fully charged. Alright, let's check out the ZBULAR weapon light inside the house. Do the light first. You see a really intense hot spot. There is a little bit of a ring. The camera probably has a hard time picking that up, but right around the hot spot. Pretty decent spill on it as well. Let's do the strobe next. So if you're sensitive to that flash, you can look away for the next minute. And I'll show you the laser by itself. Again, I know the camera always has a hard time picking it up, but there is almost like a direct line. It looks like a string going all the way over to the wall. See it with the light on too. Yeah, that kind of washes out the laser on the camera, but you can see it right there on the couch right now. Again, with the naked eye, it's very, very clear. Alright, we'll see what the beam looks like outside. There's a row of trees. It's about maybe 80 feet or so, 80 or 90 feet away right now. See what the light looks like on them. Getting pretty decent hot spot again, which is what you want with the weapon light. You really want it to throw that beam. That tree that's kind of back through there, that's about 100 yards away. I can see it pretty well. And I'm going to shut this off and do the laser next. And Again, I know the camera has a hard time picking this up, but I'm well over 200 yards away, right back in there right now, and can see it very easily. I bet this would go 1,000 yards. Alright guys, out at the range this morning with that ZBULAR weapon light. I'm going to try to get that laser sighted in, and then also make sure that the actual flashlight can withstand a little bit of recoil. It doesn't like shut off or flicker or anything weird like that. Alright guys, back from the range. Happy to report I didn't have any issues whatsoever with the flashlight or the laser. I was only shooting 22, so there's not a ton of recoil obviously, but there was no flickering of the light or shutting off or anything like that. The laser was easy to sight in. I shot about 60 rounds I think, and it held 0 once I got it sighted in. I was shooting at about 50 yards and middle of the day, and I could easily see the green laser down on the target. You know, at the end of the day, this little light performed really well. I don't know if it's quite the 1650 lumens that they claim, but it's definitely very bright. I mean, it easily lights up a room. It throws the beam pretty far. Sometimes the camera exposure will like change so it doesn't look as bright on camera, but trust me, it is really bright. They claim that it has the 2 hours of runtime if you're doing just a flashlight only. I've not let it go for anything close to that amount of time. If it does have that 2 hours, that's a really good runtime on that. I like the design of it. I like how your hand and fingers just kind of go right up into that area. Overall, it's fairly ergonomical. I like that it's USB-C rechargeable. And once you have it mounted and you have your laser zeroed and stuff like that, you do not need to remove it to charge it. You can literally just pull that little cover and charge it right there. Something I didn't necessarily care for is this squared off edge right here. I actually have had this on 2 different rifles and it was the same on both of them. When you put your hand up here, it kind of digs in just a little bit because that sticks away from the handguard there. And I almost wish that this was slightly like rounded as well. It's not like horrible, but it's just something I noticed when I was shooting. Another thing is the button like really does stick up pretty well, and it's like texturized and rubbered, so it's easy to find that button. But I do kind of wish that it was a little more forward, just because of where my thumb rests on here. So you almost have to turn it on and then slide your hand forward because it's kind of hard to hit once your hand is in place. So I think I would put it out here and then maybe make it just a little bit bigger as well. Even though it's easy to find, I think if the size of the button were bigger and forward would be better. And then finally, the third thing I kind of wish is that there was some type of battery level indicator so that when I turn it on, it would be like green saying that my battery is still good, or if I'm getting low, there would be like a red light or something that would come on so that I know it's time to charge it. As it is, you don't have any way of knowing. You're not going to know if you ran it for 2 hours or not. So I guess I'd probably just get in the habit of every couple months, probably just throwing it on the charger. But overall, I actually think it's a pretty decent little light. These are available on Amazon. And at the time of me making this video, they're coming in at around $45 or so, which I think is a pretty fair price. And I will leave that link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on this light laser combo, or pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.